welcome everyone to the Town of Portola Valley Cultural Arts Committee, our February 2026 meeting. I want to make sure the recording's on so we can send it to the
recording and it's
fantastic. Okay. First thing, we're going to have a land acknowledgement. The Town of Portola Valley acknowledges the colonial history of this land dwell upon, the unceded territory of Ramaytush Ohlone, Tamiya Nation, and Mawikma Ohlone, who endured a human and cultural genocide that included removal from their lands and their sacred relationship to the land. Portola Valley recognizes that we profit from the commodification of land seized from indigenous peoples and now bear the ecological consequences. We seek to understand the impact of these legacies on all beings and to find ways to make repair. First order on the agenda is a call to order and roll call. These are not in alphabetical order. I think it just happened. So don't mind me. Jerry? Here.
Here.
Phil?
Here.
Mimi? Not here. Stacy?
Here.
Leslie?
Here.
Okay. Ivy? Here. And Sue? Here. Leal?
Here.
Wow, 7 people. Does anybody know like, has anybody heard from Mimi? I'm just curious. I want to make sure she's all right.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Anybody knows them now? I just want to check in on her. That's all. The second one is there's any oral communication for items that are not on the agenda. Does anybody want to share anything that's current? Yeah. Oh, speaking to the speaker.
Talked about this, maybe doing a limerick contest for March.
Limerick.
Easy, simple. We just need a portal to submit the
Okay.
through the town.
So we are having a lot of issues on IT, the IT department with the town. So as a part of Stacy's program, the Spring in Portola Valley, I emailed the town in January, I asked them if they would be able to have a page for the photo contest and where people can submit their photographies. So as of today, I have not heard from them. And I wrote to them, essentially give them a deadline for the end of the week next week. So I'm happy to escalate that again, but I can just tell you they are, I don't think they don't have this figured out.
Could we make our own because we're not?
Well,
so we have a tentative plan to do that.
Okay.
And we're going to host it on a, I won't get into it, but yeah.
Okay.
Well, I asked just now when I picked up the key, asked Cindy, said, can we do it on our own? And she didn't say no, but she didn't say yes. She was like, we'll get back to you because we are a part of the town. And so you were using their name, collecting information from the town. It makes them liable. And if we, for some reason, there's any kind of security breach, and then they're liable. So I'm pretty sure their lawyers are all over this. And the lawyer's guidance, I'm sure, is very clear, is do it under the town, do it on the town website. But they just can't. The IT department seems to have a problem to get that. I like that idea. Maybe we could set up boxes. Can we do it like old-fashioned way, set up boxes across the town and people can just submit versus, well, I don't know. I'm just thinking, what do you think?
But like for a limerick, if we don't have something digital in place, could we like set something up in the library or have a box somewhere where someone could drop?
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Or can we just add a Yahoo account or a Google account, just a simple.
They could email it in.
I asked them that question. They have not. I asked that question in January.
As things are being submitted, and you'll have that with the photos too. That's a great resource for the photos. But we should have a town. So I said during when we used to have the volunteer party, there was a a mailbox that you could respond,
Yeah.
the town,
Uh-huh.
an
They-
extension on the phone and then on the email. So I was wondering if we could use that.
So yeah,
Well-
I asked this exact question in January and they have not responded. I agree with you. I think the sentiment, I share the same sentiment. It just no response. So, would you guys be open to do it the old fashioned way, set up boxes across town and people can just submit a physical?
It's not a very big
Yeah.
town. Like we could maybe have one at the library.
Oh yeah. I think that'd be great. The kids would love it. Have a pot of gold. Yeah. I think that would be great. I like one at the library, one by the Roberts store, and then another one by Alpine Hills. So 70% of the town belongs to Alpine Hills. Yeah. Well, if it's in March, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like, what are we
Ivy,
gonna
just quick
do?
Ivy,
Yeah.
just quick point of motion. Remember, I told you I have to drop early.
Okay.
So
So why
uh,
don't
yeah.
why don't you guys send me an email? Like what I recommend is if you want to do it in March, I think you want to do it as what I recommend is do it as a physical box and just set it up. And then we'll put our name on it. Just put a flyer out it. Do it. If we were going to wait on the town, this is not going to happen. Yeah.
Do any of us have an in with the town IT? I mean, I suppose that's a silly question at this point, but
Well, I am in touch with,
but nobody like knows who it is.
What
Yeah.
time do we leave? Do we lose Stephen?
Steve, what time? He's actually the last one on the, Steve, there's a reason why I put you the last because I want you to participate in our spring photo context discussion. So this is a way for me to keep you here.
But now
well,
you might be
okay.
busy.
Can we like move through it really quickly? And then I want to, so the approval of minutes, I shared the minutes from last meeting, January in our email. I hope everybody has looked at it. So for those, let's take a vote. I moved. All those approve?
I wasn't here, so I don't know.
Okay. Vote yes, raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Yes. Do we have vote for I'm calling for the vote to approve them. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you have yes. So the approved. Yeah. Call for the vote.
Aye.
I
Hi.
okay, passed. Okay. So let's talk about spring photography context, spring in Portola Valley. Steve, so we have let's talk about a couple of times. So we have the date confirmed. March 28th is going to be the workshop. It's going to be an hour and a half workshop from 10:30 to 12 noon. Alex Doherty is local photographer is to be doing the overseeing the photography workshop, and then the last week what we approved for the date of exhibit is from Thursday the 16th till Saturday the 18th. The town is not available. The community hall is not available on Thursday the 16th. So the town proposed that we move it back to Friday, where the first day is Friday the 17th and Sunday the 19th. I would like to recommend that on Friday we take the day to set it up. And since we have a Friday night and have a gala opening, because we're going to have food anyway, and then we can have a gala opening and maybe possibly have music. And this is why I wanted Steve to be on this call. Hopefully Steve will be able to locate some musicians for us. So we have food, music, and a gala opening. And that'll be a great way to open up and this program. People can show up. We can even get dressed up a little bit. Currently, I'm proposing 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we'll have the door open for 3 hours a day, say 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And it'll be a really nice, easy thing. People come, take a look at it. Given the fact that the town has not responded to my IT inquiry, what I move to for us to vote on is we simply do the voting in person. We'll have a box by the door. Whoever come visit to the exhibit want to vote, and they will vote. As far as how the photographies can be submitted, I'm going to follow up with them by the end of the week next week. But right now, that is outstanding. I think that's pretty much that's what the program will look like. Stacy, do you have anything to add? We can then talk about the volunteer, but I just want to make sure the general framework timeline. Does anybody have any? Do you have anything to add?
I have a draft of the flyer and the postcard and the banner that I can send out via email so everyone can take a look at it.
How does that sound, that program? So Friday night, a gala opening night, 5 to 7 p.m. It will be finger food. I reach out to Beyond Chini's. They can cater. It is a little bit expensive. So, but I think we're going to do some food catered. Other food, we're going to just buy a platter from Costco to keep the cost down. But we also want to have something that's, it's just like a gala. We can get our drinks, water from Costco or Trader Joe's. Pick up some flowers, and then the venue is already beautiful. So that will be, hopefully that will attract a lot of people on Friday night. Families can come out. Food is always a great way to attract people. Any comments about the timeline, the format? We like it? We will like the gala opening? Oh my God, fancy for Portola Valley. Yeah? Well, come in your party best.
Perfect.
So my question is, hey, Steve, do you think we can allocate a small budget? Would you think there would be some sort of musicians in your network?
Well,
We need
we've
to have
had, I mean, just our own experience, like for 2 hours, like sometimes one of my bandmates is out of town and we really have to have, a missing bandmate fill in order to do a practice. And
Well-
I think generally speaking, if you're talking about 2 hours, it's usually somewhere between $100 and $150 total per musician. So if it's a musician that can just play, like just play some, music in the background. Now, if you want a really high quality one, like someone like Rick Vanderveer or something, he's like $160 an hour. And but the difference is he could do it. He could do it himself. He's good enough to play himself. For example, I mean, Bundy's always a possibility, but Bundy's more, he's more country-ish, country rock, that kind of stuff. I don't know if that's the genre you're looking for. You're probably looking more at somebody who's playing some really good, probably just acoustic music in the background.
Acoustic music. I think this is
probably
what I'm envisioning, because that room does not have it's not set up for any equipment. So what we need to do is do some acoustic music. Maybe somebody who plays a harp or acoustic guitar, a string quartet.
They probably have their own portable amplification of some kind.
Really,
I don't know.
Acoustic musician. I'm thinking about a set of 30 minutes and then rest, join the party, have some food. I asked the town if we can have alcohol. Probably not. We'll just have some water and some club soda, and then play for another 30 minutes. So we're paying for an hour. And then the person can, welcome to join the party and look at the.
They look at it usually more like consumption of their time. So the fact that you're giving them food is fine, but they're still there for 2 hours. So I don't think they're going to look at that like, oh, it's only an hour charge. So yeah, and again, it just depends. But I mean, I can check. I'm doing a lot of work with Woodside High School right now, or I can ask Ronnie Crawford or those kinds of things, and ask and see if there's somebody, a student who would be willing just to play just because they want the experience, and they might not even charge, or they might charge minimally, something like that. So I can ask about that. But if you don't do that route, Woodside High School, or a student, then you're looking at professional, and you're probably looking at, if you want it to be good, you don't want it to be marginal. But you're probably looking at around 160 an hour times two, so around 320.
do-
So
I prefer actually giving students the opportunity to play. It's always any opportunity to play, to perform is good for student musicians. I think that's a route. So if that is a route we're looking for, what I'm going to do is
All right.
I will ask the town about hiring minors, right? There's just like all these legal considerations.
well, you
going
probably
into
wouldn't have to pay. You probably wouldn't have to pay the minor. They probably would be willing to
volunteers
do it. Yeah,
as
that's the way
volunteers.
I think. Yeah, they would probably look at it more like, oh, there's an opportunity to play. Whereas somebody who's professional say, no, I want to get paid. So I think that, if you want, I can ask a couple of people that I know that have, even if a kid, it could be even like when we're on these students, if the kid is like really into classical music, then they could play for 30 minutes and then
That's
30 minutes,
perfect.
So
Classical
I don't
music.
know. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, you want something like that or some light jazz, one of those two probably,
Right.
so.
I think
all right,
classical
let me see if I can
music
find out.
would be great.
Right.
The jazz band is also
Okay.
fantastic. Okay. Or, just a small section. Nothing too. I don't think we can have drums in that room. Maybe the bass.
I don't think for that. No,
Yeah.
for 30 minutes and 30 minutes, the band's not going to be real interested in coming
Yeah,
in
yeah,
and
yeah.
doing all the setup
So,
and everything.
okay.
So you're really talking probably a solo. You're probably looking at a solo musician, period.
Right. I
Okay.
think is string music will probably the best. Okay.
Okay.
So
Oh,
there is that,
okay.
and there's food. I think what we want to talk about is the volunteer side of sign up, right? I'm going to pass the torch to you, Stacy, to talk about volunteer side.
So
Yeah,
Ivy, should I come back? Should I come back? Am I late? You said I'm later in the agenda. Do you want me to come back like at 5:45 or something like that, or what do you want me to do? 'Cause
I
we're
mean,
talking
would you?
about the May?
Yeah. 5:45.
About the May 1st and May 8th. Okay, I'll come back at 5:45 for
yeah,
the May
that
1st
sounds
or May 8th thing we talked about.
Okay.
Okay, I'll come
sounds
back
good.
at 5:45. All right. Thank you.
Okay. What do you mean? We need a panel. Yeah. Let's talk about volunteering.
So the volunteers, and I can send out a just like a Google Doc for us to each put our name in if you're able to sign up for a slot. The times that we'd be looking for would be April 17th. Sometime during that day is when we'll want to set up the photos. And right now, I know I'm happy to do it during the day. I could be flexible if there was someone that was excited to help out with that, then I could match my schedule to their schedule. Otherwise, I'll just pick some times and I might try to get, it's during the day. I don't think I can get student volunteers, Ivy. I know you had mentioned that as a suggestion.
What time does it start? I mean, I can't be here till 4:30, but I'm
Okay.
happy to.
So the photo exhibit is going to be from 5 to 7 that evening. So everyone would be invited to that portion. And we'll likely need some volunteers to help out. You'd like to greet people, to help with man the voting booth, stuff like that. And then Saturday, the 18th of April, between 1 and 4 p.m., we could do hour-long slots or 2-hour-long slots, whatever people were interested in. And then April 19th, same thing, 1 to 4 p.m. What do you think? Would volunteers be interested in like a 1 or 2 hour slot? What have you guys done in the past for volunteers?
Well, I can just say yes, and I don't know what was done in the past, but I will actually have 2 teenage boys at home on Saturday.
Saturday they can.
They can help
Um,
out?
They can come. I think.
I'm going to volunteer them, yes.
Okay.
One of them
fantastic.
loves photography. so
Oh, great. We'll take it.
Do they want to come to?
Oh.
Do they want to come to the party Friday night?
Friday, they might be able
Great.
to help Friday day, but let me double check with them before I okay.
So
Okay.
I think the 2 days we need help is Friday we need set up, right? Set up the table, put the photographs on, and then what we need is 2 people, 1 person to pick up the flowers and another person to pick up some sort of platter. Can we have anybody I'm coordinating with Bianchini's on catering. So we got a divided comfort. One person can be in. So I'm getting the catering from Bianchini's. I do think we need to have some, more cost-effective solution when it comes to fruit platters and vegetable platters from Costco. Would anybody be interested in making a Costco run on Friday to pick up that and possibly flowers?
If not, I can find a way to do it.
Well, let's wait. No takers for Costco runoff? Okay. So yeah, no, yeah, let's not put anybody on the spot. So that's Friday, I think will the most. And then a Friday after, because we have food, we do need to, make sure there's a little bit of cleaning up. So maybe everybody stay after helping out to just making sure there's, we take out the trash, make sure the place is clean. We just take out the trash and put away anything that's, put away the food and the flowers. We can have the flowers the whole weekend, actually. Yeah. And then Saturday, I think we should definitely send it out. Saturday is just making sure, we do need somebody, maybe one of the teenage boys can do this, to volunteer to man the voting table. Make sure people vote. So we do need like Saturday and Sunday each day, we have a person sit at a table to take in the vote.
Okay.
And then Sunday is taking down the photos and then cleaning up, putting away the tables and chairs, if we can all help out with that. So Stacy, would you send out a document?
Yeah, I'll send out a document and then do you think that'll work out okay? And then you can either reply to the email with when you're available and I'll drop your name into the document, or you can drop your name into the document.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the question is, it seemed in previous discussions, having the photos stay up for quite a while, more than just a day or two, was a really positive thing for the previous photo exhibits. And I'm wondering, do we have to be in a hurry to take the photos down? I think maybe people would be able to come and, look at them over time if we left.
It's the town gave, and Ivy, correct me if I'm wrong. The town gave Ivy the days that were allowed to be in the space.
Oh,
So unfortunately, I'm not sure that they can stay up longer than that, unless there's something creative.
Okay,
that you
I'll
know.
ask. I'll ask them. Maybe they will even let us put the, I'll ask them. But the
Great.
only thing is, how are we going to take the vote?
Right. So people wouldn't be able to vote. I'm wondering if for this one, just for logistics, if we keep it up for that amount of time and take it down, and if this becomes a yearly thing or, happens again in a few months, then maybe we find a way to either work with the library or find a way to put them up in windows. I just know I can commit to that weekend and I can't commit to past that weekend, or, checking on it during the week and stuff like that.
so for you, it's about the vote, but, you could restrict the vote to a single day or to whatever window you were planning on. And still
Right now we have 3 days. So we have Friday, we have it up for 3 days. Friday the 17th, Saturday the 18th, and Sunday the 19th, and then it would come down on the 19th. I know that there are like dance classes for kids that happen in the room, and so we wouldn't be able to keep the
Okay.
exhibit up throughout the week. And I've been told that the dance classes are fabulous and the kids are all over the room. So I think it would be a safety hazard.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
So for the volunteer, do you think what I also can do is send out a tour of the form, ask people from the town to volunteer. So once you have that, maybe we make that available to the form and then people can volunteer, because I think it would be also be nice for, like us to be able to attend the exhibit. Because there are only 8 of us. If just all driven by us volunteering, I don't think any one of us can actually enjoy the exhibit.
So if we're able to set up,
Mhm.
did you get, you're still waiting to get an okay that we can set up an email account?
Yeah,
For our
anything
committee?
IT related is
Okay.
no answer.
So once we know that we have an okay to move forward with that and the website, I think we can have communication for volunteers go through that and we can just add it to the site of
Yeah.
different ways to be involved.
Okay. I mean, even before that, I think just old fashioned way, we should just say, here are the time slots to the form, send out an email, people sign up. And then,
I love that. I think right now we want to make sure that we have people participate. Like the big thing would be to have
Yeah.
push the participation.
Yeah.
And if we feel like we're short on volunteers as we
Okay.
get closer, then push volunteers.
Yeah.
Because I'm happy to volunteer for the event as much as needed. I'd rather make sure that our participation is high.
I think we what we could do is both is the same, right? Participate, maybe add to the bottom, right? You can attend the workshop, submit a photo, vote, or we're always looking for volunteers, right? Volunteers to take the
Yeah.
vote, volunteer to do this, and people that you'd be surprised. People will sign up for that.
Yeah.
And when we do workshop, that's another place to look for volunteers.
I mean,
because
some
I
of the
think the day
parent, if
of-
there are any kids that submit, maybe their parents would be
Yeah.
interested in volunteering. So I think there'll be natural ways to find volunteers.
Okay.
I just don't want to dilute the
Yeah.
participation.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for, I want to also make sure the marketing collaterals go out as quickly as possible. I know, Stacy, you said you'll be sending it to everyone. Can we put a date where everybody can provide their feedback? So, speak now, like basically, and then we can get those to the printer and send those out as soon as possible. You send it out today, I think maybe in a week.
Yeah, I think I'm solo parenting tonight until 10.
Okay.
So I think by tomorrow is fine, I can send everything out by tomorrow.
I'm just, okay. So you send out by tomorrow
Yes.
and then okay. Fantastic. All right. And then in a week, we do need volunteers. I think that will be mostly our committee to volunteer to spread the to tape out the banners, to pass out the flyers and to table at the farmer's market.
What are the dates that you need people to do that kind of thing?
Whenever you're available.
Well, I
So-
know, but when are we gonna have the banners and then like
Oh.
how far in advance should we
Yeah.
go up, that kind of thing?
Why don't I get all of this information on the volunteer sign up doc that I send out and I'll connect with you to make sure that I have everything
Yeah.
that needs to be there.
Yeah.
And I will send out tomorrow a volunteer sign up sheet and the collateral to review.
So I think today, if you send out tomorrow, it's just by Friday, everybody, provide their feedback by Friday and then Sunday. So we can send it to the printer on Monday. And then next week we can just start taping around town. Yeah.
So it's going to take time. It's going to take
I mean,
anywhere from
however-
1 to 2 weeks to get the
2
stuff
weeks. Sorry.
back. Yeah.
What I mean is once we get the banner, we can take it around town.
Perfect. So as far as a timeline, we had talked about waiting to hear from the town by next week, but you and I can talk more about that for the print timeline. Cause I was going to send it out for print a week from now, but if you want it to go out at the end of this week.
I
we
don't
could.
think we need to wait for the town to print. I think we should just. print.
So in order to host
Oh,
on the
right,
website,
right,
the
right.
information and all the sign up links, this is why it's
Guys.
all connected.
You know what? In that case, I'm going to push Cindy to get back to us by Monday.
Okay,
Coming Monday, we don't have it, then we just gotta
great.
just do it on our own.
Okay, and so right now, the QR code and the links on the collateral don't go
worry.
anywhere.
Yeah,
They're
got it.
fake, but I can make sure that they go to wherever we want them to go
yeah.
eventually.
I don't feel bad about pushing it because I emailed her in January.
Okay.
This is why what I do. This is why I always push us to have a date so I can start sending emails to the city early, and then we always look like we're ahead of schedule.
Great.
Actually, at least.
Okay, I bet I can have the temporary website that we're going to use if they say that they can't provide anything, I can have that done by this Friday
Okay,
so that we can be ready to print next week.
okay.
Mm.
Sounds great.
Great.
So anything else on the photo exhibit? Are you guys excited about the gala?
I
This
just
idea,
want to say thank you for all your hard work. It's
Yeah.
really amazing.
Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be
looking
awesome.
forward to it. I'm
Gala.
happy to help as much as.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I still haven't reached out to see about printing photos if we can get a discount. And so I want to reach out to Mike's Photos so we can get their logo added to our flyer if they do want to be a sponsor. So that's on my list right now too.
I do want to bring something up that I learned from today from Bianchini's. Food is not cheap if we want to cater. Stacy, what was the budget that we approved for food last week? Last month?
The budget we approved was $200.
Okay, that's awfully underfunded. So Bianchini's asked me how many people do I think that will attend? I said maybe 100. I think that's the upper range. 100. If we have 100 people come, I will be so happy. What do you guys think?
I
Okay.
kind of want to wait to see how many submissions we have.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. So like any kind of catering, we're really looking at, it depends what we get, right? We're looking at $30 to $50 per person. So even just like 8 of us, which makes sense, right? Like if we go out to eat, if you think about it, 30 per, so they have this list, and I can share with everyone. I'll send it in an email. They have their hors d'oeuvre list, and per hors d'oeuvre per person, like per bite, is anywhere from, if you go vegetarian, $4.50 to a slider that's, I think if you want to do smoked salmon over something, that's $7. So we're really looking at, if you have 5 bites or 6 bites, we're really looking at $30 to $40, right? Depends. And then you're going to put water in there. So what I move is we improve to vote on to increase the budget for food to what I say 13 to increase by $1,000 to $1,200. And that is a very, very modest. I think, didn't the Park and Recs, they paid an ice cream truck $2,000?
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So maybe we should even increase it by $1,300 and have $1,500 for food. Is that too much? I mean, I think this is open discussion, by the way, guys.
I guess my question is, so I think once we get traction and we see how many like participants there's going to be, we'll get a slightly better sense of how many people might come on that Friday night. Obviously, like town members might come to vote, which will be great.
Yeah.
We could have an RSVP for the event, which would help us with our number if that's something that we want to do. I don't know.
Comments from anybody else? We wait and see,
Oh,
or
We have a very limited budget this year. Remember, we were lucky to get any money at all.
Right.
We were not really, we were kind of being asked to join another group instead because of the funding issues in town. Oh, you're saying you're asking to increase the budget? Who are you asking? The town's not going to give us any more money.
how much is our budget? It's $4,000, right?
I think it was $3,000.
Right. We haven't spent anything.
I know, but you can't spend, well, I shouldn't say. you
Well,
can't.
we don't have any other events. So this
We're
is
gonna-
the event
We're gonna
that
have
we
the
have.
music- We're going to have the music event.
What I move to propose is this: is the market price is about $30 to $50 per person. Let's take a midway is we're going to approve the budget for $40 per person but no more than $1,200 more. If it's more exceeds $1,200, then we'll come to a vote. And I think what does that make our, if we move the budget to $1,200 for the food, how does that impact our total budget?
It makes it 2,900,
Oh,
right?
I just feel
Maybe you
uncomfortable
can-
spending so much on one event because we do want to do other, I mean,
Well,
that's for the whole year, is that
yeah.
right?
So when does the fiscal year end?
June, right?
Yeah, we do want to spend our funding. They used
And-
to let us carry over. That is a question we need to
I
ask.
don't think they're. I never recommend carryover anywhere that I manage a budget because then that takes off the table the possibility of asking for budget increase next year. You always want to spend it. That's a really good question. Jerry, when does our year end?
June 30.
So between now and June 30, realistically, we have this event and the music event. And let's
How-
ask, Steve is going to be back, but let's ask him what's the budget from that one.
That would be great to know. Yeah, I think it'd be great to understand with the music.
Yeah.
Because if nothing else, I know, we should have like a gift for the music teacher that he works with over at Woodside High and that kind of thing. We usually, buy an orchid plant or something for the people.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
agree. I think if we do not, and I know this is in the minutes from previously, we all agreed that if we don't spend our money this year, they'll think we're not active and we won't need money the following year. And they usually carry over whatever we had. So it might be nice if we could increase our budget for next year. So let's spend our money. I agree with that. I just don't want to run out of money. And just a quick thought, my niece has had to plan several funerals. And she called every caterer in the area from San Bruno down here to Portola Valley. And actually she used San Carlos, but Bianchini's had the best price.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's a very good choice.
Okay, I appreciate that. Planning for party, as we all know, it's a lot of work. Fortunately, I think I really count my blessings, have had the privilege of organizing way too many parties. That's my experience as well. I didn't even look elsewhere because Bianchini's and by the way, this is just the estimate for food. If we want, I assume we can't afford service. So we'll have to, in that case, forget about alcohol, no alcohol, because with alcohol, then you need to have a licensed bartender serve the alcohol, which is going to have water. And then get something from Bianchini's, get the platters, the cheese platters, the fruit platters, and the vegetable platters from Costco. Get a few sliders, I think they have these by the way, I will also circulate the menu to everyone so you guys can take a look. And, so I was thinking, a few sliders, meat, chicken, salmon, and then vegetable and fruit platters. So that's
I'd like to suggest, this sounds very elegant. This sounds very good, but we just have in town in Redwood City now reopening. What is it? Bravo Taqueria, which is great and pretty darn inexpensive. And we went there just the other night because we just love that. And I'm wondering if diversifying, Bianchini, yeah, sure, they're in town. You should be patronizing them for sure, but maybe, be able to save some money and still have some excellent food, of a little more variety, perhaps, is a thought. And the other thought is there's a print shop that I keep going to, Phil and I keep going to, because they're just so darn good down in Redwood City as well, called Precision Graphics. So if you're finding that you're not happy with the prices you're getting wherever you're shopping for printing, you might take a look at them. They've always done an excellent job and on time and all of that. So
Leslie, would
Thank
you
you.
mind reach out to this restaurant you mentioned in Redwood City and get an estimate for 100 people.
Sure.
Catering for, or, you know, 50, maybe get two quote, one for 50, one for 100. So we can compare the price.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
I
Be
think
happy to
Steve-
do that. Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll revisit the food budget next month once we have a few more quotes.
Cool.
Steve,
Nice.
so any other comment before we move on to Steve's music fair, which we're all very excited about before
Yeah.
we're all good? Okay. So we have a guest speaker, our dear friend, Steve. It's just always to have you and always good to see you. So I'm going to give the floor to you. Why don't you tell our group, you know, what is this program that you would like to sponsor?
Well, it's just an idea for trying to showcase or draw out the various. For those of you who don't know, I'm the one that coordinates all the youth bands for John Badger at PV Palooza. Like I had to coordinate 48 musicians for 9 bands last year, and so since then I had gotten to know Raphael Kaufman at Woodside High School, who's just an amazing teacher. And I've been mentoring a couple of his bands that he's developing, one of his classes. Actually, about half a dozen different bands. But anyway, to make a long story short, it just when we think of how much excitement and feedback I got on from PV Palooza for the side bands that played, the kids really, really appreciated an opportunity to be able to perform. So I started thinking about, well, what could we sort of do something like that to draw out more of these talents. Plus, I can also use it as sort of breeding ground for bands I'm looking for PV Palooza. So I've got an ulterior motive there too, because I can sort of see them perform and go, that'd be a good one or whatever. But then I thought, okay, well, let's say we did that. Like, for example, I know one of your first questions is about budget stuff. So, I mean, because I have my own band, I have all the sound equipment. So you don't have to rent any equipment. I've got everything. Then the format would be something like, what if we did something like on a Friday night? We were proposing either May 1st or May 8th, where we invite youth bands to play. And I can also canvas my PV Palooza list as well. That they would get to play for 20 minutes or 25 minutes, have 3 or 4 or 5 bands, 3 or 4 bands play. But make it, and make it a draw. Kids are great because they get their friends to come too, so they'll draw their friends. But I thought, why limit it to just music? I mean, if you've got that whole room, it's set up, it'd be fun. Why not also invite kids that maybe have photography that they want to have on a table and display around the room? Or maybe some people have written some poems or something. They can have like a little poem table, like almost like when you go to Kepler's and you see a book fair and someone's there talking about their book. A kid could be sitting there with examples of their poetry, for example. In other words, it'd be like a cultural fair, like a youth cultural fair, and we're just providing the format for them. And then, probably want to solicit 2 or 3 kids to help coordinate it or work on it, so they get some organizational. Now, I'm sure, I'm already actually having one of Rafi's students do this for us. We're playing at a private party on March 21st. And 2 of Rafi's kids want to be my sound people for the day. But my band doesn't even have to set up for the sound. These 2 students are so excited to have an experience of setting up sound and doing all that stuff that they're basically roadies, free roadies for me. So it's great. So it's just an idea. I do have one way to kind of kickstart it. From the band standpoint, I can draw from my PV Palooza list. Plus, I can get a message out on listserv and so forth. But also, there's a guy, Aaron Campbell at Woodside, who already does something like this at Woodside High School, where he has kids put all their photography out and artwork and everything else. And I was actually on campus today, and I talked to Aaron Campbell about that. I said, what about, if I gave you a format, would some of your kids come up, put their stuff out? So basically, it's an open invitational thing. It's just a place. It's something a little more productive for these kids to do than sit around and play on their iPad games and so forth. Get them outside. It also acclimates them to the town center structure, the building. So they get a little experience of, a little bit more understanding town. Plus, then the townspeople will have an opportunity to come and witness some of this talent that's right around them. And so I don't know, it just seems like it'd be a positive thing. There's really virtually no cost except for, I'm assuming we have tables we can pull out and set up. I'm assuming we have that. I don't think we need to put a lot of chairs out because kids will be roaming around, and maybe there'll be a few casual tables for people to sit. Like I say, the sound system all covered. I don't necessarily think we necessarily have to have food. I mean, we could, if you think there's a food format or have a food truck come or something, we could do that, but that's totally up to us whether we want to do that or not. So anyway, that's the concept. May 1st or May 8th works. And it's also good because it's before the end of the school year, and it's also not bumping right up against finals and all that kind of thing. So it's a comfortable evening. It's a Friday evening, and the weather should be nice and all that kind of stuff. And it's far enough before PV Palooza that I don't think of a band who's playing for PV Palooza is not going to say, "Oh, I can't do that because I'm already playing like next week." It's like 5 weeks later, so it's not like a conflict at all. It'd just be more of a primer. All right, those are the ideas. I'll leave it for whatever you want to do. I'm happy to be the coordinator on it on an ad hoc basis. Thoughts?
I just want to confirm the date. You're proposing Friday, May 1st. What time?
Or May 8th, whichever works better.
May
I don't- it
4th
doesn't matter
or
to
May
me.
8th? Okay, so
I
both
have
No,
a
Fridays.
first.
comment.
First or 8th. First or 8th, whatever works
Okay.
for you. It doesn't
In the
matter.
evening.
I think the first would be better because if you want high school kids, their AP exams start on the 4th and go through the 15th. And
Okay.
Okay.
some of these
Well,
kids,
there
they
you
have
go.
like
Yeah.
5, 6 AP classes and they're all stressed out and they don't do anything.
Okay. So
Okay.
unless there's
Alright.
any objection, would I propose to move on? Well, I'm sorry to jumping in it. What do we think about this program before I move to vote on the date? Because I always say we lock in the date. Even if we can agree on the program right now, we lock in the date. Last week, I received multiple emails from other committees asking if we can give up one of our dates because they're just thinking about for event in March, end of March or April, all the dates are gone. So what I propose now, whether or not we agree to move forward with a program, we lock in the date and then we can talk about in detail about the program. Whatever details we need to hammer out, we'll do that later. But for now, we have a date because once we have the date, we can always give up. We don't have the date, we'll never have it. So maybe I just move on to vote to have the date locked in on May 1st, Friday, May 1st for the community hall.
I think Jerry, do you have a question? Jerry has a
No,
question
I'm
on-
voting.
Yeah.
We lock in
Not
the
vote.
date.
And then subject to further discussions, details about the event. And so I just want to lock in the date. So May 1st, how do we
May
vote again?
1st,
I said
sure.
Yep.
Vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all voting.
I second and I vote for it.
Okay,
It sounds really fun.
it does.
And I've offered to work with Steve.
Sure.
He brought this idea to me quite a while ago, and I'm glad that we're following up on it. I'd like to see it happen. And I told him I will continue working with him to see that it comes to fruition.
I think this is a great idea. I think we all agree this is wonderful. Yeah.
Yep.
I think you might want to. I think we might want to do it maybe from 6 to 9, since it's not just music; it's also the photography and poetry and everything else. And are we comfortable with if I talk to Aaron Campbell at Woodside High School? That some of the kids, they may not be Portola Valley kids; they're Woodside High School kids for sure. I've seen their work and everything. Are you comfortable with me inviting? Because I just need him to help fill in the event, make it something more. Are you okay with that, or is that a problem?
I'm very comfortable
Yeah.
with that. My question is about the audience. Are we only targeting high school kids, or are we broadening to
No,
different
adults.
audience?
Adults. Oh no, both
Yes.
it invites adults too. Yeah, I mean, parents love to see their kids perform, and a lot of times these kids are performing. Like in Rafi's case, his kids only really perform at Woodside High School, so parents don't necessarily get a chance to come down, and the kids don't want them to come on campus. That's the other thing, right? Right. So this is more of a community event. This is it's a mini sort of PV Palooza, basically, in a way. It's like it's just for us.
I think the
yeah.
question I have is, and you probably can speak to the sound level. So this is this indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
Indoors?
Indoors, and I'll be doing the sound, so we can agree. We can agree
Great.
to
I think-
agree on the sound.
Great. Just making sure that it's not too loud.
No,
That's all.
no.
Great.
I
Yeah.
do recommend we put some sort of parameter, right? Let it be geographical parameter or age parameter. So we can have some sort of a theme. And then also have some sort of just synchrony resonance about the attendance. We have a resident expert. I would say, Liao, you're the
Mhm.
teacher here. And as well as Jerry, who was for a long time. I'm curious about what do you guys think? You know, shall we focus on a certain age range and then open up the geography? Or do a mixed range and limit the geography?
Well, if it's Woodside kids, Woodside parents are going to show up. So,
Oh, I'm talking about the people who are showcasing their art, right? It's let it be
Ah.
the art or music. Obviously, everybody can attend, but who can we open it to showcase their art?
Well, I would say the terminology we use for PV Palooza that you either have to live in Portola Valley, Woodside, La Honda, whatever, or be attending a school that serves those areas is the term we're using. I think you know that too, Ivy. But the second thing is I need to make sure it's populated enough, right? Because I may need to draw from some of Aaron Campbell's the teacher at Woodside. I need to draw on some of his students. I want to make sure there's stuff to see there for you. If we limit it, there may be 3 kids standing there with a couple of photos, and that's it. May not be enough. That?
Do we have ends with any of the art teachers? Because, to open it, I just don't know how we'll get people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we can.
I don't know if we want to also reach out to the Priory
Yeah.
to see
Yeah,
their art teacher.
Yeah.
And then if we want to stick with high school, then we stick with high school. Otherwise, we could reach out to CMS to see if, some 7th and 8th graders might be interested.
Yeah.
If there's any
Absolutely.
strong artists there.
And
Yeah.
also Jeannie Goldman, is wonderful art teacher in town. And Shazia Zhang also teaches art in town as well. I don't have as much direct experience.
Yeah.
with her. Yeah. We've got resources in the town.
And I think the question I have is just understanding it's sort of them showing their portfolio. There's not going to be
Right.
anything for sale, right? It's just
I
like,
told Aaron that. I told Aaron that today. I said I'm going to talk to the committee tonight, but I said you have to understand the kids need to just bring their stuff for display. I mean, I suppose that doesn't stop them from if someone comes up to them and says, "Hey, what's your email? I want to get some of your stuff." I guess you can
I
do it
think-
outside, but I told
and
him
because
no,
what
there's
I
no selling.
understand from
Yeah.
the town is that you can't sell anything in the building with the restrictions that are in place. But if they connect with someone to make a sale outside of the event, then I don't see an
Right.
issue with that, right?
I'm aware of that. I'm aware
Okay,
of that
great.
stipulation.
We're all thankfully aware.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
and not to say because we've had a number of
comes
events.
up.
We have events got canceled previously because of that restriction.
Sure.
So we've
Great.
had so we're just exhibiting art and we're having it's a really a creative fair showcase. And what I have just an idea, I'll throw it out there, is why don't we open up the geographical limitation a little bit? Rather than be a limitation to say, bringing people maybe from Redwood City, maybe East Palo Alto, maybe San Francisco. Liao, which school do you teach at? You're at Lowell, right? Which is
Yeah, I don't know. People don't
travel.
A lot of those kids have never even left town. I mean, I don't see people going that far. But definitely Redwood City.
Right. I mean,
Well, that's what Aaron. I mean, Aaron will have. He has access to the Redwood City kids because he teaches at Woodside. So we already have
Right.
Redwood City covered. And I saw he did. I actually got the idea because I was there actually to do a band thing with Rafi, and actually Aaron was having his own version of a art fair, and it was amazing. I mean, the stuff that the kids do.
Do
with
we want to do
photography
any?
and digital?
Yeah. Do we want to do any kind of outreach, say to East Palo Alto?
That'd be smart.
I mean, honestly, that's one thing about the arts that unites people, and I think it would just be a like wonderful way. And then if we do that, I mean, because if we're limiting to high school, then that'll be a great way for high school to kids to meet other kids that otherwise would not be able to meet. I think that's by the way,
Well, the
I'm
other thing,
keenly
the other thing I
aware.
thought of is one of the neighbor kids here is a big drone fanatic, and I thought he could even do a drone demo on the lawn. I even thought about that idea.
Oh my
Is
goodness.
that good
I
or
think we
bad?
might
Is
need to
okay?
just double check on what the laws are around that in a public space.
I've actually looked into that.
I think it's awesome, but I know that there's a lot of drone laws and I don't want our committee to
Okay.
get in trouble.
The drone laws is the following. Okay. If you is whether or not you're commercializing, that's number one, is which we're not. And the second one is you whether or not you're commercializing, it has a lot of impact, including whether or not you take you know, at the end of the day, you're capturing private information. So the reality is this is a public space, right? They're out there. But I think if we allow drone demonstration, then we need to essentially have everyone who attends who's going to be nearby. We need to what we could do is fence off the area and then have anybody who come into that area sign a release waiver and then have big signs by there say, hey, this is a zone, a drone area, and we're going to take pictures. So that's the way how to navigate
I wouldn't
drones.
say. I'm not suggesting.
We
I'm
did
not
that in
suggesting he
PV
takes
Palooza, and that's
pictures.
how we go about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not suggesting he takes any pictures. I'm suggesting that if you've seen, like we used to have that drone thing that we did, or that flight night we did
Yeah.
years
Absolutely.
ago,
So
and it was just
even if
demonstrating the drones flying around with lights
Okay.
on them. You know, it's kind of cool. That's it.
So then
Not
we need to
pictures.
make sure then he needs to commit to the fact that there's no pictures taken, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be a
That can be
lawyer
done.
here, but when it comes to drones
No.
and when it comes to anything, we gotta be. So if there's no photo taken, then whoever is doing that, he
No
needs to
photo.
put it in writing that he's not taking any pictures of anybody else.
Yeah, it's the same kid. It's the same kid. Anderson is his last name. I forget his first name. It's the same kid that we
then
talked to last year.
he's
Yeah.
very much
Yeah.
aware of what we went through last year
Yeah.
with PV Palooza. I
Yep.
provided guidance
Yep.
on that one for him as well.
Yeah.
Small group.
Steve, do you know, would you need someone to create like a flyer, or what is the hope for getting the word out? Is it
Yeah,
all just
that'd
going to
cool.
be? Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Well, why don't we find a kid in town that's got great
Yeah.
artwork capabilities? Have him make the flyer for us. Why not
Yeah.
do that?
I think that would be awesome to have a student, because that's another way of involving students in the process.
Yep.
And Woodside Priory and Corte Madera School were both very active the last time we did a youth art fair.
Okay.
And the principal at Corte Madera took the flyer out of our hands, and she even said, give it to me and I'll run it off and get it in all the teachers' mailboxes.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
So
Okay.
they were very,
Right.
very supportive.
We can talk about the budget next time, but Steve, when you come next week, would you think as critically as you can about the budget? The reason why I ask is this, is we have till June to spend all our budget. This year,
Mhm.
we haven't had any events that require budget. The photo contest is the first one. So if your event doesn't spend any money, then effective, what that means, we need to spend all the money on the photo contest. We're just going to have an amazing, glamorous,
Mhm.
catered party. But I'm joking. We're talking about that's the budget I asked for is like literally getting some food from Costco, half of it from Beyond Chimneys, half from Costco. But think about it. I think our budget, Jerry, you said we have three.
The only thing I can suggest is if you just want to have some snacks, because the sound system's not going to cost you anything.
Food
And
is,
we have tables there.
Yeah.
That's it.
So food is expensive. Jerry, I'm sorry, we mentioned, was it $3,000 or $4,000 we have for the year?
I'm sure it's 3,000. I could look in my notes. They're not handy right now.
I mean,
Okay. So I think
I would suggest definitely having beverages and snacks at the event that Steve's proposing.
what kind of snacks are we talking about?
High schoolers
dip,
are
yeah.
great with like chips and, you
Why
know,
don't we,
those types of things.
what do
I
you
think
think
that would-
about a Costco
Agree.
run of pizza and chips
Yeah.
and then soda? And I think in that case, a couple $100 can get us very far.
Probably
Maybe
300, probably 300, probably
$300.
300. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
300 probably, I
Okay,
think,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna write that
Yep.
down for now.
And Steve,
Um,
we want gifts for both the teachers.
Yeah, that's a good. idea.
Anyone that helped us from the other schools.
Okay, gift
Mm.
for teachers. So Steve, would you just think about it? Don't give us a number about between the food and the teacher gifts, how much that will be. We can talk about it next time. And then that will essentially give us a clear understanding how much is left. And then we can just allocate it to the photo contest.
Yeah.
Which is
You'd have to tell me what you think you'd want to do as a gift. Let's say there's six teachers total that help somehow, somewhere, someplace. I mean, what would you give them? A pen? A Portola Valley pen? I mean, I don't know. What do you give them?
You guys got to think about, we can talk about it later. It is 6:10 after 6. We had a tremendously productive meeting today.
Okay.
So if I'm going to call if there are other businesses. Does anybody else have any other business before we move on to close? In that case, I move to close the meeting. Okay, use this.
Right.
Yeah.